Hey, it's your boy, KQKC, doing another video. Yes, I have to say I'm doing another video on, you guessed it, the United States Nightmare of Promoters, Mr. Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn, I believe, and I want to give a shout out to 78 Sports for bringing this to the current boxing state of what's going on. And I can agree with him 90% of the time. I really believe Eddie Hearn has an obsession with Deontay Wilder. Quiet as it kept. Sure, he promotes Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua just signed that contract extension, which took forever. And I haven't found out just why. Now, he was privy to a lot of bullshit when they was negotiating with Wilder. But he wasn't privy to the more in-depth scheme that Eddie Hearn came up with. So maybe he didn't appreciate that, being out of the loop. Or maybe he didn't appreciate being used as a robot. Or maybe he didn't approve of, you say what I tell you to say. You do not speak on your own unless you're taking pictures. Maybe he's getting tired of the manhandling of his promoter to him. Now, this is KQKC opinion. But I tell you one thing, subscribers. I owe it to you. I owe it to all the boxing fans. And I owe it to the casual boxing fans to find out why. It took him so long to sign that contract. Is he happy or he's not? Now you got Frank Warren and Eddie Hearn. I say the top two promoters, which they have more, but the top two promoters in the UK. But Frank Warren's stable is deeper than Eddie Hearn, believe it or not. And as far as Deontay Wilder is concerned with Eddie Hearn, I think Anthony Joshua is starting to comprehend what's going on. For the simple fact, Eddie Hearn is trying his damnedest to push Dylan White and Deontay Wilder together. Okay, now if they get together and hey, might be a good fight, or it might be nice, a lights out for Dylan White. Would that shut Eddie Hearn up? No. It's something about Deontay Wilder. Why he keep sending contracts over. Why he keep offering him money to come to the zone and fight, or let him promote him. A lot of people don't know about that, do you? Oh, yes. See, he wants to promote Deontay Wilder. See, what's going on is the shit and shenanigans that they played in negotiations, or so-called fake negotiations, because they knew that they were going to fight Deontay Wilder. They knew that they had a date set for Wimbledon. They knew that they were going to fight their mandatory. which is Povetkin. But we all know, if you're a boxer fan, you know that unifications trump mandatories. That is a fact and a rule and a law, whatever you want to call it, in the Boxing Federation. All the governing bodies agree with that. But they try to backdoor Deontay Wilder because they knew, like his trainer said, plain as day, like Eddie Hearn said, plain as day, Anthony Joshua is not ready for Deontay Wilder. Other words, if he fight Deontay Wilder right now, he would get his ass whooped. I'm sorry to get all hyped up about this, but why would you mess with another man's money and another man's family in a potential super fight between the lineal champ of the heavyweight division versus the WBC heavyweight, longest reigning heavyweight from America? The UK should be standing up, cheering for Tyson Fury. Why? Because the statement he made, quote unquote, he said it's a disgrace how the Wilder and Joshua negotiations went on. It was a shame how they bullshitted that man. It's a shame how they did the country of London, or the country, or the UK, period. He's here to fight Deontay Wilder, to save face for his country. He must love his country, and his country got to love him back. He don't want his country to have a bad name just because a greedy promoter want to bust in and get where the money is at, America. We might not have a one-field stadium of 90,000, but we break them down and we come out with more. And then plus, the UK people should be a little bit smarter and figure out that it wasn't no 90,000. They got on Hearn and Matchroom ass. No more ticket scalping. Now, come on, UK. Talk about it. I know more what's going on over there than you do, and you there. Talk to me. I'm not talking about ILTV, because we know he's in the pocket of Hearn. Hatman Strikes Back. He getting a little bit on the side. I don't know how much. Now, I always said KC doesn't make accusations without proof. That's right, I don't. But the proof is in the pudding. With Hatman Strikes Back, when every time you have a channel that's very unbiased, like mine, then all of a sudden, you go from unbiased to 100% bias. What's wrong with that picture? I'm not going to use the phrase Stevie Wonder can see that, or Ray Charles will see that. But anybody can see that. Same with that ILTV. The same shit with them. Well, in a way you expect that. Because if you listen to their voice, you know that they're from the UK. You know, lows or mate or rubbish. You know, those are UK talk and slang. Like ours is bullshit. That's our slang. So that's what's going on. And matter of fact, the ILTV is supposed to be a YouTube channel and slash a reporter. Okay, we know how Blue Blood Sports did his thing at the DAZN warehouse back alley premiere. But we need, and I can't stress this enough, we need boxing medias, because Sports 78 should have had one, to ask the fucking hard questions. Don't ask the softballs. Don't, you know, that ship sailed. This is the nitty gritty. This midway through the year, boxing is heating up. The next 2 months is filled with boxing. Ask the tough questions. Ask why you pushing Dylan White so bad to fight Deontay Wilder. Now, let me break this down to you. Dylan White, by the WBC standards, is the #1 contender. But he holds a silver WBC belt. Now, Dominic Brazil is the #2 contender. But he holds a belt that's higher than the silver belt. So, the Suleimans told Dominic Brazil, starting in December, you are officially the #1 mandatory to Deontay Wilder. That's in December. So, there you go. So, Deontay Wilder has a choice. Does he fight Dylan White, or he just go ahead and fight Dominic Brazil? But Dominic Brazil is not his mandatory until December. A lot of boxing channels getting it wrong. I'm going to keep it straight. I did my research. He is not a mandatory to Deontay Wilder until December. That's right. Look it up. KQ, KC, I told you. I'm not telling you no bullshit. Because I don't want nobody bullshitting me. I'm going to tell it like it is. And like it is Eddie Hearn has a fascination with Deontay Wilder. Why? I don't know. Maybe because he could take a punch, flush, like he did from Ortiz. Matter of fact, he took a lot of punches, flush, and then go down. Matter of fact, Ortiz punched himself out trying to get him to lie down, but he couldn't do it. And you know what? We ain't talking about 2 rounds. We talking about 1 round it took Deontay Wilder to clear his head and come back with a vengeance and knock Ortiz's ass out. That's what I'm talking about. That's true grit. That's true championism. That's what it takes to be a champion. That's right. I believe Eddie Hearn sees something in Deontay Wilder that he doesn't see in Anthony Joshua. That's my assessment. I hope we all on the same page. But if something I'm missing, please comment and tell me. Because I don't like how he's hounding this man. And by law in the Boxing Federation, between all governing bodies, he can't talk to that man. Because that man is already represented. He's represented by Lou DiBella. He's represented by Shelley Finkel. He is advised by Al Heyman. And trust me, you don't want to fuck with Al Heyman. He don't take people to courts too much. They try to take him. And guess what? He always prevails. Why? Because he's one smart black man. And for you other boxing channels that's not so crazy about the LDBC, because I read a few comments. Every black man that has a channel, a boxing channel, is not a member of the LDBC. Let me get that straight. That doesn't mean they don't want to be. They support them. I even give a shout out to the LDBC. I'm sorry, but we don't have a players association. I keep telling you that. In boxing, we don't have that. We don't have what the football and basketball players have. We don't have that. But we have the LDBC. And they're not a racist boxing group. No, they're not. It's just other nationalities choose to do things on their own and think they can be successful. Some are. But think about the camaraderie, if I'm saying it right. Think about the brotherhood. Black, white, Chinese, Hispanic, it doesn't matter. They all have a common goal. Make sure boxing is on the up and up. Make sure boxing is straight. Make sure boxing doesn't turn into a dirty sport. Some get passed and some get caught. Listen to Canelo Alvarez. He took his ass to Mexico because he didn't think Vada was coming there. Vada, you got a fight coming up, or you hold a belt, Vada will be there at your door. When? You ain't gonna know. So you don't think that they won't travel to Mexico to test your ass? Busted. That's right, busted. So, what's getting me so worked up is this man, because he can't talk to him, because if he does, he might get suspended. I doubt if he's in a jail, but they might revoke his license here in the U.S. And he don't want that. He wants to see his B-level fighters, his amateur fighters, fight on the zone. That's what he wants to see. See, Eddie Hearn think that everybody has to march to his fucking tune. Now, I told you I'm an unbiased channel, and I really like Anthony Yard and Anthony Joshua from the UK. And Tyson Fury is turning out not to be such a bad guy. Eddie Hearn, at the beginning, was a dynamic promoter. just dynamic. But like I tell everybody, money makes people act funny. Money can turn you this way or it can turn you that way. That's right. Now, with this obsession with Deontay Wilder, I don't know, but I think Joshua knows. And a little jealousy is starting to kick in. Why? Sure, his profile went down. And Deontay Wilder's profile went up. So Eddie Hearn's going to say, well, it's a bunch of hoop hop and it's good for conversation. It's good for this. It's good for that. You know, he's just trying to get Deontay Wilder to fight Dillian Whyte. Because, you know, that's money in his pocket. Because he represents Dillian Whyte also. He gonna make money off of Povetkin and Dillian Whyte, he think. But they don't like you, dude. And I'm quite sure I can name a few that don't like you. One thing about it, you're going to have to empty that bank account. Because that shit is not going to work. Now, you might have some people just want to take a look at it and see what it's all about. You know, hey, I don't have a problem with that. Kudos. You know, I never want to stop a man from making $1. But once they see what's really going on, minus Povetkin and Joshua, because they ain't going to be fighting on the zone that damn often. And Wilder and Brazil or whoever, Fury, whoever it might be, they ain't going near there. They be boxing at Showtime or the UK. A fight between these two guys is heating up. So he does an interview downing this fight. He almost praying that this fight doesn't happen. You know what? If this fight happens and Deontay Wilder wins by a unanimous decision or by a knockout, which is going to be kind of hard to do. That's a big, big dude. He's bigger than Deontay by height. But they won't give him the credit that he will deserve. See, if you pay attention like I do, you will see Eddie Hearn is putting down his groundwork right now in case Deontay Wilder wins. Well, hey, the guy been sitting down for 2 years. I mean, just had a massive mental relapse or whatever. We all go through shit. We all got skeletons in our closet. I know I do. And I bet you do too. But I be damn sure not to say nothing. Because this man is not going to come over here and disrespect our fighters, our promoters, and goddammit our country without somebody speaking up. And that's where the LDBC come in at. I have a voice, but will they listen? No. Why? Because I only have 33 subscribers. I'm a new channel. I've been doing it only 4 months. But they'll listen to Sports 78. Oh, they will listen to Black Fight Fan. Now, Fight Hype. A little more advanced. Boston Ego. You know, you need to get on board. We all need to be on one accord and make our voices heard. You'll be surprised how many things can change in boxing once the fans start sticking together. Now, I have talked a lot about the LDBC and how don't say they're a watchdog group or anything like that. All they want to do is just keep boxing fair and balanced. That's all. But they do other great things in their communities. They try to support themselves by hats, t-shirts, mugs, whatever. And I take my hat off to them for doing that. So, with that, I just had to let you know just how hateful this man is. That's one thing I told my ex-wife, my father. I always thought the ladies in the UK had a beautiful accent. It's just something about a lady talking the way they talk. But it sounds really bad coming from a man that's trying to bullshit his way. Now, people like Demetrius Andre, they think that is so lovely. They think they're going to be on top of the world. The number one boxer in the world. Demetrius Andre, stop fooling yourself. Stop letting Eddie Hearn use your dumb ass. You pissed away half of your career. And you're probably going to pull out something else pretty soon. So, I just had to run to my computer when I seen that on my cell phone. How he is trying to break up this fight by spreading in the UK and some in America that this fight is not going to happen this year. They just hyping you all up. And Tyson Fury, kudos to him, said they got that deal done in a couple hours almost. It was easy to work with. But I'm not going to dwell on that. I'm going to let the chips fall where they fucking may. And when that fight is officially announced, I don't care if it's in December or March. It doesn't matter. At least Tyson Fury stepped up. At least he didn't send over a contract that stipulates a lot of shit in the favor of Anthony Joshua. No draw. If it's a draw, no rematch. What kind of shit is that? If you have a draw, you got to have a rematch to see who is the winner. Who is the best. I wish Anthony Joshua was like Mikey Garcia. Mikey Garcia said recently, now I'm paraphrasing, basically he don't give a shit about those belts. It's his legacy that he care about. It's his family legacy he care about. But Anthony Joshua, those are Tyson Fury belts. They was confiscated once he was out of the ring. Not in the ring, but out of the ring. And you picked him up off of some Charles Martin, a B-level fighter. Joseph Parker, which I really don't think he's that good. But you need to talk with your promoter and tell him, let that fight do what it's gonna do. That's right. So, I'm KQ, KC Boxing Channel. If you like where this new decorative channel is going, please subscribe to this channel. If you want to be notified every time I upload a video, which will be 2 more times today, because I need to talk about Gervonta Davis and a couple other fighters like Adrian Broner and Lipinets. It looks like that fight will happen. Now, on the way out, please hit that like button. That's very important. And come on with the comments. Like I told you, I've been watching boxing ever since I was a young man. And I'm 51 years old not today, but I'm 51 years old this year. So, never sweat the small stuff. Always remember that. Always remember that. And with that, please subscribe to this channel once more. This is KQ, KC Boxing Channel. And I'm going to see you on the next one. Peace.